Stuck is an illusion. You're not stuck. You are where you are, and there's a reason. So surrender to the season and listen and learn. And maybe, just maybe, what you thought was stuck was a shift. Hi, friend. I'm Susan Beth, and you are listening to the Susan Beth podcast, where we talk about living life intentionally and about trusting that the desires you have deep within you are there for a reason. I believe that the creator of the universe put those desires within you and that they are pathways to your purpose. My desire is that this would be a space that encourages you to lean in and to hear the whispers of the divine, and that you would be reminded of things that I honestly believe you already know. That you, my friend, are here for a reason. So if you're here for more conversations in that kind of space, welcome. Let's go. Hi, friend. Today's episode is the final episode in season 8, and it's more of a chat between me and you. And I hope that you will listen to the end because I have something special to tell you about. So how are you? Are you ready to close the door on the month of May? Well, I hope so, because we are doing it. And we're closing out another month in 2024 and walking out these last few weeks of spring. And I know I mentioned in a previous episode, but just in case you missed it, I was talking about how this spring season started out nothing like I had envisioned in my mind. I was all ready for the growth and the blossoming, and instead it was fighting weeks of being sick. So where I was looking for experiencing growth, I found myself desiring rest. Actually, let me clarify. I desired activity and growth, but my body was desiring and ultimately demanding that I rest. So I finally stopped resisting. Side note, I decided to take some cues from the seasonal journal that's written out in the welcoming a season at the start of each journal. I stopped resisting and I rested. And as I started getting better and putting my hand to things, I saw that growth had been happening in the rest. There was watering and nourishment to seeds that had already been planted that were showing signs of life and momentum towards blooming in a new and beautiful way. So it was a neat reminder of what I believe to be true and love to share with you in different ways, that life is seasons and our days and our seasons are held securely in our Creator's hands. And we can trust Him when those days aren't looking like we think they should look. So I hope that's encouraging if you have been feeling frustrated about a season that you're feeling stuck in. I invite you to change your perspective around that, because stuck is an illusion. You're not stuck. You are where you are, and there's a reason. So surrender to the season and listen and learn, and maybe, just maybe, what you thought was stuck was a shift. And now you know. Speaking of shifts, I think I mentioned in a recent episode that I've been sensing a shifting of things for me personally. I've been taking some steps in some new spaces that I've had interest in for the last couple of years, and I'm excited and I'm learning a lot and I'm being stretched in all of the ways. But I feel like I've been preparing for this next season for a while. So even though it can sometimes feel like a lot, I'm ready. Ready as in I'm showing up, not ready as in perfectly having everything figured out, but I'm ready as in I'm available for what's next. So there's lots of fun projects in the works, some of which you will be getting glimpses of this summer. I'm also super excited about the summer journal that will be available in the next week or so you can get it in before the official first day of summer. It's really fun and it has a retro vibe to it, as well as the weekly focus as being an invitation to us living freely and lightly this summer season. Because I'm choosing to be really intentional about savoring this summer season. I've been putting my phone away more and more these days, and I'm loving the freedom I'm feeling with doing that. Instead of spending time scrolling, I've been choosing to use those extra moments to sketch, something that I spent lots of time doing when I first started out devoting more and more time to my art practice. And if you've been around a while, you might remember seeing sketchy faces that I love to spend time playing around with. And I just love them so much. And I'd gotten away from playing around with them. So that's one of the things that I'll be spending more time playing with this summer. And one of the weekly focus themes in the summer journal is this idea around play and how beneficial play is for us. The kind of play that's not us trying to produce some magnificent end game, but play just for the sake of play. You know, the kind of play that we naturally spent most of our days doing as a child, losing ourselves in our imagination and curiosity, experimenting and learning new things. Like I said, not to produce anything or to become a professional in any particular area, but simply doing it for the love of learning and playing around with something new. How did you love to spend your time as a child? What did you play and what did you dream about? I'm guessing that you, like me, felt God's smile in those moments as a child because He adores you, friend, and He loves to reveal Himself to you no matter the how or the where. So what's something now that you've been thinking about trying or playing around with, but have just kept putting it off, thinking it was a waste of time and why bother? Whatever it is, I hope you'll try it and have fun with it and simply enjoy it for what it is. No pressure to perfect anything, but just for the enjoyment, for the simple sake of play. I also wanted to let you know that we are going to be doing a summer rewind again here on the podcast for the next few months. And that's where we share an episode from a previous season. And that's always fun because it's always a treat to re-listen to a previous favorite, or maybe it's one that you missed when it actually came out, or maybe you're new here. Maybe you're a new listener and you're going to be listening to it for the first time, which, by the way, welcome if that's you. I'm so glad you're here. And I also want to remind you that the She is Awakening seasonal journal has its own podcast. And every Sunday, there is a new episode from the weekly focus for that week. And so that will obviously have new episodes dropping all throughout the summer as it follows along with the seasonal journal. And if you haven't listened, there's a totally different format on that podcast from this one that you're listening to. So if you haven't checked it out yet, I would love for you to. I think you'll really enjoy it. And I believe that it can really add value to you on your journey. So make sure that you're subscribed to the She is Awakening seasonal journal podcast so you don't miss any of those weekly episodes. And I also send out a link to those episodes every Sunday in an email that many of you receive. So if you would like to follow along with the seasonal journal in that way, shoot me an email at susan@susanbeth.com and we will get you added there. And speaking of emails, in the near future, if you do receive emails from me, and if you don't and you want to, I just told you how to get on that list, you're going to be getting an email which will give you some information and have you make some selections just to make sure that you are getting the communication that you desire from me. Because here's the thing. Some of you listen to this podcast. Some people have bought the seasonal journal from Amazon and they don't even know anything about a podcast or anything else. They just found their way to me or an email through a scan code in a journal that they purchased. Some of you I have connected with through my physical art, either online or at an in-person art event. Some of you are friends that grew up with me or know me from a particular season of life where our paths crossed and we did life together for a season. So whatever the reason that brought us together and whatever reason you have chosen to stay connected, for which I am super grateful, I want to make sure that you are staying connected in the way or all the ways that you prefer. So here's the exciting thing that I want to tell you about. In celebration of all that the season of spring has brought to our lives this season, I am offering a few pieces from the Spring Journal. And the pieces are images that I chose from 3 of the weekly focuses that represent so much of what the season does offer us. And the 3 I chose were awakening, perseverance, and bloom. And those words are on an image. And I also chose one of the quote pages. At the end of each weekly focus, there is a quote that goes along with the focus. And what I chose was, "You are here in this moment of time for such a time as this." So there will be a link in the show notes to the episode that you're listening to right now, where you can check those out. And you are able to purchase 1, 2, 3, or 4. So you can buy them individually, or there is a special price if you purchase 3 or more. So I hope you check them out and maybe grab some. It's a great gift to have on hand to be able to bless those in your life, or if you need a special gift for someone, or treat yourself to display in your home or your workplace as a beautiful reminder to your soul. I think that's it for now, and I am so thankful for you. And I'm grateful to be part of your life. And I'm excited to continue cheering you on to live the life that you were designed and created for. I love you guys, and we'll talk soon.
Hey, you. Thanks for listening. And if you would like to connect more, head over to susanbeth.com and sign up, and you will be one of the first to find out about anything new. Plus, there's a special free download available just to say thanks. If something in this episode did speak to you, would you do me a favor and share it with a friend that you think it might resonate with as well? And until next time, keep showing up in the world just as God purposed you to do, because you being you is exactly what we all need.